Be water, my friend. Bruce Lee. You see over my shoulder there, that's a Bruce Lee jumpsuit. Yeah, I got one for myself. And hi. Yes, it's time once again. Thanks for coming back for the Golden Age of DC Comics 365 Days, where I use this wonderful coffee table book for its intended purpose, a page a day for 365 days. We're going to be talking about comic books for the rest of the year. Tune in tomorrow at 3 p.m. U.S. Eastern to find out who and what we talk about when we open the page, huh? Oh my goodness. Two things. The Golden Age of DC Comics run from 1938 to 1955. And sometimes I like to push that back a little further to 1931 because that's when The Shadow and Dick Tracy premiered. But those were not DC superhero comic books. Remember, yeah, so let's be literal. 1955 is the end of the Golden Age. 1956 begins the Silver Age. And I'm a Bronze Age baby. That begins about 1974 with the death of Gwen Stacy. Today, I need to put on the problematic signal. Put on it's a capital P that we put on a big light, and we shine it on a cloud. And so if I say something problematic, we've at least given the signal, you know. It's March 9th, and this is Wonder Woman. From Wonder Woman number 3. It's not even Sensation Comics anymore. Wonder Woman has her own title. It's published from March 1943. The story is by Dr. William Moulton Marston himself, and art by Wonder Woman artist Harry S. Peter. And this panel is from Wonder Woman number 3. And it seems like it's the opening splash page. We see the title, we see the writer's name, we see Wonder Woman. We begin in medias res, which is those are Greek words, huh? Means in the middle of the action. It's how the Iliad and Odyssey start. We see Etta Candy, or it could be Etta Candy, Diana's best friend from Holiday College, and that's a lady with a knife. And Diana is tied to a tree. And if we pay attention to the story, the story arc that they're putting down for Diana of the Amazon, that if she's bound with her own golden lasso, that she loses her superhero strength and everything. She becomes powerless. And so we're gonna read this the blurb first, and then I'm going to read the narrative caption. And it's March 9th. Happy March. Hope you like the weather. I'm in Boston, so it's winter and it's cold, or maybe it's an unseasonably warm day and it's beautiful. And but who knows? I mean, we're not here to talk about the weather. We're here to talk about comic books because we love talking about comic books. And thank you so much for tuning in. So let's talk about it. It's March 9th in our 365 days of the Golden Age of DC Comics. And Wonder Woman seemed to end up bound in every story written by her creator, William Moulton Marston, under the name Charles Moulton. The psychologist said these scenes had something to do with the idea of achieving freedom through discipline. But many readers saw them as visualizations of a familiar fetish. In this story, Princess Diana returns to Paradise Island to don the guise of a moon goddess and distribute gifts for the Amazon Christmas. In another jolly holiday ceremony, Amazons dress as deer and hide in the woods so they can be hunted down, dragged back, stripped of their clothes, and served up alive in a huge pie. This was one strange strip. And the huge narrative caption we have Wonder Woman like looking at the camera in a way. Is she looking at us? Or is she looking at the list of the narrative? Is she trying to look at her bound hands behind her? Well, what's going on? Who is that? Is that Candy trying to save our friend Diana? Out of a swirl of moonbeams in the forest glade comes Wonder Woman, driving a silver chariot drawn by pretty wood nymphs, a lovely incarnation of girlish power and beauty. Flying to Magic Paradise Island for Diana's Day, the Amazon Christmas, when the mighty sun god returns to Earth, Wonder Woman plays Moon Goddess, the Miss Santa Claus of Amazonia. Now here's a good one. This is as beautiful as Aphrodite, wise as Athena, swift as Mercury, and as strong as Hercules. Wonder Woman, although on a Christmas holiday, still has time to break up another insidious scheme of her arch enemy, the Baroness. For when demure Diana Prince, nurse secretary in the Bureau of Military Intelligence, transforms herself to glorious Wonder Woman, things begin to happen. So yeah, and it's by Charles Moulton, and this is the opening splash page of Wonder Woman number 3, March 1943. How is she getting out of this one? Don't know. But I just want to mention something. Continuity, canon, story, things that add up matter. So I just listed this. There was just this canonical listing of Diana's attributes as compared to God's. And she's literally a God-made superheroine. How do they conflict with Captain Marvel, Shazam? Because his Shazam is actually an acronym. His magic word means S, the wisdom of Solomon; H, the strength of Hercules; A, the stamina of Atlas; Z, for the power of Zeus; A is for the courage of Achilles; and M is for the speed of Mercury. They're sharing Hercules and Mercury. How is that possible? Well, DC Comics was different than Fawcett Comics. Fawcett Comics had Captain Marvel and were DC's rival until they went bankrupt and DC bought them out. Further adding to the multiverse, events happening on Captain Marvel were happening on an Earth called Earth S, for Earth Shazam. And it was part of this building multiverse when DC would buy other properties, say, such as when they bought the Charlton properties. They became, is it Earth C? Was it Earth 5? I mean, I have to look at, so many Earths in the multiverse in so little time. But still, so this is, it's, I don't know if this was problematic. I don't think so. Just to be on the safe side, in case you're think that she's a damsel in distress needing saving. She just simply needs a way out of that bind. No pun. Because, Batman is a mortal person. Superman has kryptonite. Green Lantern at this time had wood. That's interesting. Alan Scott's weakness wasn't the color yellow as it was in the Silver Age. It was wood. Anything with wood. It's a great plot point in the in Mark Waid and Alex Ross's Kingdom Come, where Alan Scott is the Green Lantern, the Emerald Knight, and he has this space station, and it's in orbit, and he powers everything through his Green Lantern ring out of his sheer command of willpower. But one of the bad guys, or the new generation of bad guys, brings a wooden sword. Hijinks ensue. So does Calamity. It does a lot of major damage. And what is a really interesting use of the little caveats that they place on these characters. They place a limitation, and which give things danger and intrigue and some dramatic tension. So how is Diana going to get out of this? Well, maybe Etta Candy wins that fight and then just simply unties her best friend. Who knows? I could look it up, but yeah, I'm not going to. Not tonight. But still, we know that Wonder Woman survives, because there was an issue 4, But so there was no conflict with using the same gods in the same sense of continuity, because there was no violation with Captain Marvel Shazam. They were not the same universe as of yet. So retroactive continuity only can go back so far. And I don't think there would have been a problem anyway. This is just something to talk about. This is just comic book talk, isn't it? And it's just, they're all imaginary stories, aren't they? In a way. And didn't Alan Moore say that? And the last Superman story, something like that. But thank you so much for tuning in. It's the golden age of DC Comics, 365 days. We're going to talk about comic books every day for the rest of the year. Tune in tomorrow at 3 p.m. U.S. Eastern to find out what and who we come across in the next page we come. And that'll be tomorrow. Alrighty. Well, thank you so very much. Like and subscribe if you can. Give me a thumbs up if you like. Give me a thumbs down if you didn't like this content. I'm a big lad. I can handle it. I'm an ordained minister, an amateur theologian. We get spiritual here. I'm also a professional chef. I share cooking hacks so you can make delicious, nutritious, and beautiful food at home for your loved ones at your table. So tune in. I make daily content. I hear my soups are pretty good. I get a lot of views for those. So if you make anything that I suggest or model, please share some pictures. I'd love to know. I want to hear it. If anyone has tried my ribs, I want to hear that one, because I stand by this technique, and you will always have good ribs falling right off the bone. Oh, it's in there. I will. Okay, well, thank you so very much. Cheers. God bless you, and thanks for tuning in.